If you're making $50,000 a year, then chances are you already know how to survive. But how do you actually start stacking real wealth? This is part 2 of my series about building wealth from a $50K salary. You've already got the foundation set, and now it's time to go ahead and start building your way up towards a $100K net worth, even if it's on a modest income. We're talking about increasing your income, killing off bad debt, optimizing your money, and scaling those investments. Now let's get it. Topic 1, reclaiming your cash flow. The first step to go from surviving to stacking is to tighten up those leaks in that money. Some easy areas to target can be subscriptions that you've forgotten about. I'm all for you trying to go to the gym, but if you haven't been to the gym in months, but that $30, $40, $50 membership is still coming out of your account, well then you need to make a change on that. Maybe it's Hulu, Netflix, Max, Prime, all these other things. You usually only cater to one that has your favorite show or movies, whatever it is that you're into. If you're not really using those other subscriptions, and honestly, it's worth the sacrifice to go ahead and just cut down to one subscription, then that's 30, 40, potentially $50 that you could be saving from subscriptions alone. Now, there's other types of subscriptions that you may not even be aware of as well. You should always make sure you're checking your bank statements so that way you can see what $9.99, $7.99, $15.99 is coming out of your account and that you can actually make adjustments on them. DoorDash, Uber Eats, you never know how much is coming out until you actually check that bank account and you look at those statements and see where is your money going. Another area to target could be your food spending. You'd be surprised if you actually tracked your food amount for 1 week. When you go by McDonald's and you say, hey, I'm just gonna stop here to get breakfast and coffee on the way to work, or I'm gonna stop by Chipotle every evening and get me a bowl or some burritos, that starts to add up. What about at lunch? If your job has a cafeteria, or maybe it doesn't have a cafeteria, or maybe you're ordering out for lunch as well, all of this starts to add up to where you could be spending anywhere from $10 a day to $50 to $60 a day. If you add that up and you're working 4 or 5 days a week, well, that's $40 to $50, or that's $250 to $300 being spent on food that you don't even realize. It's important to make sure, number 1, you're tracking this. So go ahead and try tracking that out for 1 week, and then you will see, are you spending too much or are you doing just fine? I would say one solution to the food spending could be that you can actually start meal prepping. Now, I understand that groceries are starting to get more expensive, but they're still not going to be more expensive than eating out every single day. Trust me, if you get a pack of chicken that say maybe comes with 8 to 12 strips, well, 3 or 4 strips per meal can cover you between 3 to 4 meals. That's one pack of chicken for maybe $9 or $10 versus going out and getting Cane's or Popeyes or whatever type of chicken that you get and pay $10 per meal each time. $10 or $30 to $40. It's an easy decision no matter what you want to say. We can always make an excuse about how something is more convenient or easy, but that's where you have to make sure that you're using your off days wisely. Go ahead, set everything out, make a plan, and stick to it. Now, another area that I would target would be car expenses. How much is your insurance? How much is gas costing you? How much is the maintenance on your vehicle? If these are things that can possibly be adjusted, even just a smidge, it can save you over the long run. The goal here is to shop around, right? So you want to make sure, did you just go ahead and go with the insurance that you're always used to? Or did you actually get quotes from multiple companies to see if you are getting the best rate? The point that I'm trying to make here with reclaiming your cash flow is if you are able to figure out $200 to $300 that you can save per month, that ends up being $2,400 to $3,600 that you have extra per year without even having to change a job or get a raise. That is what I'm trying to show you. Sometimes it's not just about what you're bringing in, it's about what's going out. And most of those things you are actually in control of if you actually sit down and take a look at it. So now we have topic 2, and that's going to be increasing your income. You know, this is the part where you really want to try to break out of your 50K a year trap. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go ahead and switch careers to do so. I'm going to give you a couple options that might help you out with getting out of that 50K a year trap. Option one is going to be asking for a raise. Now, of course, you're not just going to go in there and say, hey, I need more money. What you need to do is make sure that you're tracking all of your wins. You want to make sure that you're showing what your work is doing is contributing to the revenue and the great job that is being done at this specific company. Now, once you're done with this, maybe try scheduling a 15-minute talk with your supervisor or your boss. That lets them know that you're not trying to take up too much of your time, but this is enough time to give you to lay out everything it is that you've done and have been keeping track of, and show why it is that you need more compensation for the work that it is that you're doing. And lastly, with this option, even if they say no, the one question that you should always end with is, what would it take for me to be able to increase my value and compensation for this year? Hopefully, you get an answer that at least elaborates what you need to do to go ahead and break out of that 50K trap. Now we have option two. This is one that I really love, and that's stacking with a side hustle. Instead of you giving monthly memberships to DoorDash, how about you join DoorDash and start working with them on the weekend? How about babysitting? How about tutoring? And I know when you think of tutoring, no, it doesn't have to be with simple math or reading or things like that. Think of your everyday skill. You are an expert at that if you've been doing that for a while. You can at least teach basic skills to someone who may be trying to get into a position like yourself. How about babysitting? You can go ahead and reach out to family members and say, hey, if you want to enjoy yourself, you just let me know and I'll charge you a reasonable rate while I watch them over the weekend. There are plenty of ways for you to start trying to stack extra cash, but just remember that this extra cash that is being stacked is to fuel your wealth. Another way that you could actually start a side hustle is by YouTube, TikTok, or maybe just documenting your journey on some type of platform. You'd be surprised how many people will relate to you or actually become invested in you and what it is that you're trying to do. Sometimes your biggest supporters are people that you don't even know. And the last side hustle I say will be skill-based. Maybe you're good at graphic design, right? Maybe you're good with Canva and you can go ahead and make thumbnails for people, or you can make websites, videos, etc. There are plenty of ways that you can go ahead and make extra money for people, and you'd be surprised how many people are actually needing your services. You could practice writing on resumes if you're really good at getting jobs and you've never been denied. Well, clearly there's something about your resume that you were able to make pop out and stand out outside of other candidates. Maybe it's an online course. If you are an expert at something, then you can charge a certain fee to teach other people how to get there. There are plenty of ways to make extra income. The point of this is that if you're really dedicated on getting out of that 50K trap, then you will find the time and the way to go ahead and start any of these. I don't even care if it's mowing grass, raking leaves, walking dogs, etc. There are things that need to be done that an everyday person can do, even if they don't have some extreme skill set. Find whatever it is that you can do to start making extra money that fuels your wealth, because like I say, future you will thank you. Topic 3, kill your bad debt. Now really what we should be talking about is the silent killer of progress here, and that's high interest debt. I know some of you are happy that you have your credit cards and they come in handy sometimes. You should be paying off the balances each and every month. If you're taking out personal loans, or what about these apps that are buy now, pay later, these overdraft fees that you're having, every single one of these is taking something from you in return. No one is just gonna let you buy something now and pay it later for the same price. That means you're paying more for it over time. Is it really worth it? This is a wealth reversal. And lastly, I don't care how much you're investing. If you have debt that is coming out of your account that is at a 20, 25, sometimes 30% interest rate, then you're not doing what it is you need to do. It's not a flex to still be paying high interest debt on anything. You need to go ahead and kill all of your bad debt. That way you can start building your wealth journey even faster. Now, one easy plan you could do for this is to write down a list of all your debts, the interest rates, and the minimum payment amounts. After that, what you want to do is start with the highest interest rates and go ahead and pay those down first, because those are costing you the most money. This is also known as the avalanche method. But once you pay those off, you want to pretend like those amounts are still there, so that way you can go ahead and keep paying the same amount towards your debt each and every month, and that knocks it down faster. So once again, once you pay off your high interest debt, whatever that monthly payment was, keep pretending like it's there, but just throw that payment to your next payment and that payment to your next payment. And before you know it, your debt is gone. And let me give you an extra cheat code here. Those side hustles that you started, that money should be thrown at your debt first. If you are able to go ahead and throw even more money at your debt than you're normally used to, then it's gonna pay down the debt even faster. Every dollar that you save from having to be paid towards debt is one more dollar that you get to invest towards your future and build wealth. Remember that. Every dollar matters. Trust me. Now, topic 4 is going to be to optimize your accounts. We want to make sure that your money is working smarter, not harder. Now, I'm going to give you 3 must-haves. Trust me, there are more accounts that you can go into, but I feel like these are the 3 basic accounts that you should have. Number 1 is a high yield savings account that you're keeping your emergency fund in. With everything going on right now, you never know when there could be job loss, medical expenses, anything could come up, car expenses from pop tires, whatever the case is. You want to make sure that you have enough money put up to be able to cover these expenses. That way you are not pulling from your investment accounts. Normally I would recommend 3 to 6 months, but with the way the economy is going right now, I'm going to actually say somewhere between 6 to 9 months, 12 months if you really can. That way you are in a prime position to be stress-free and focus on building your wealth. The second one I'm going to give you is a Roth IRA. Now, this is an account that grows tax-free. And the reason it's tax-free is because you're investing money that has already been taxed inside of it. So if you are under the age of 50, you can invest up to $7,000 per year and let that money grow tax-free. You should be taking advantage of this. Now, if you're above 50, you can invest $8,000 a year and let that money grow tax-free. This is to encourage you to build wealth and make sure that you are ready for when you are retired. A last thing I will give you is the 401k, and that's if your job gives that. But a 401k is basically free money. I'll give you an example here. Let's say you make $100. Well, you decide that you're going to invest 4% of that into your 401k. That would be $4. Well, let's say your company matches you up to 4%. So that means they will match your 4% given with another $4. So now you are doubling your investment. Instead of investing $4, you're investing $8. Now expand that out, and let's say you're investing $40 per check. Well, now you're investing $80 per check. So lastly, I'm going to repeat those 3 accounts you must have. A high yield savings account, and that's where we're going to put our emergency fund. Okay, we're going to have a Roth IRA, and that's where we're going to have tax-free growth. And then we're also going to have our 401k, and that's where we get free money from our jobs. These are 3 basic yet powerful accounts that all earn interest. Now I'm going to give you a pro tip here. For your investing accounts, try making a separate bank account. So when you get paid, make sure that that money is automatically taken from your paycheck so you never see it, and it goes to this bank account. This bank account should be clean, out of the mind, and most importantly, out of spend. You will automate that money to be transferred into your investment accounts and invested. When you create automation, that erases emotion, because this is something that you will be used to. That's the most important part that we want to take out of all of this, emotion. There should not be any emotion when there's finances, because you will tend to make emotional decisions, and usually those are bad. Topic 5, net worth tracking and your momentum. Now, once you've made the habit of investing and saving, it's time to start keeping up with the most important part of all of this, keeping track of your net worth. Now, why does this matter? You have to understand that net worth is the actual scoreboard, not salary. I say this all the time. It doesn't matter how much you make. What matters is how much you actually keep. And if you're keeping more and seeing this net worth rise, it starts to build belief in you that you can have a net worth of 5 figures, 6 figures, even 7 figures eventually, as long as you keep these same steps and habits going on. And the most important part about all this, it helps you to stop measuring net worth by lifestyle and flashy purchases. There are plenty of people that go into the mall, buy all these luxury designer things, drive these fancy cars, but their net worth is trash. It doesn't matter what you have on or what you drive. What matters is that number that continues to grow, and you know that you have security and safety if anything were to happen. Now, an easy and simple way to keep track of your net worth is to go ahead and do this calculation. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. That's just a simple way to do it. Your assets, add up your checking account, your savings account, your high yield savings account, your Roth IRA, your 401k, and your crypto, etc. Things of that nature. Your liabilities, look at student loan debt, car debt, credit card debt, things of that nature. You want to go ahead and add up the assets, add up your liabilities, subtract them from each other, and that number that you get, hopefully it's a positive, is your net worth, okay? And once you start seeing that number grow, you start to smile, you start to get excited about it. You are seeing your net worth grow, which means you are becoming more financially secure and getting closer to financial freedom. Some tools that you can use to keep up with all of this are Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, Notion Tracker, Money Monarch. I mean, there are tons of apps that are free as well that you can go ahead and keep up with this. Or shoot, you can just put it in your notes. The thing is, you need to know where your financial status is. That way you can know how to start improving it, okay? And I'm telling you, once you see this number grow, you're gonna become more and more excited and understand that you are building wealth and getting to that point of financial freedom. That is the most important part, and that is the goal of what it is that I talk about and believe in, and that's my goal for you, and hopefully that is the goal for yourself. Now at 50K a year, you're not going to be able to out-earn your bad habits. But if you cut your leaks, kill your debt, grow your income, and you stay consistent, then you will be more than able to stack your way up to financial freedom. Remember, it's not what you make, it's about what you keep, grow, and protect. Now make sure you keep a lookout for part 3 of this series, to where we're talking about getting to that first 100K. I'd let you know how I invest, protect, and stay disciplined so that that consistency can turn into real wealth. Drop a comment below and tell me, hey, what are you doing to kill debt and grow your income? Let's inspire each other. And if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss more videos, because I'm posting these each and every week. Until next time, I'm Marcus, your host here on Zero to Wealth, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.